नमस्कार दोस्तों, मेरा नाम है प्रकाश द्विवेदी और हम ओशो की ये बुक मैच्योरिटी को पढ़ रहे थे, द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ बीइंग वनसेल्फ। इसमें हमने हमारे चैप्टर नंबर फर्स्ट को पढ़ लिया था, द आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग। आज हम स्टार्ट करेंगे चैप्टर नंबर 2, जो कि है डेफिनेशंस, फ्रॉम इग्नोरेंस टू इनोसेंस। तो चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं। मैच्योरिटी मीन्स द सेम एज इनोसेंस, only with one difference. It is innocence reclaimed. It is innocence recaptured. Every child is born innocent, but every society corrupts him. Every society up to now has been a corruptive influence on every child. All cultures have depended on exploiting the innocence of child, on exploiting the child, on making him a slave, on conditioning him for their own purpose, for their own end, political, social, ideological. Their whole effort has been now to recreate a child as a slave for some purpose. Those purposes are decided by the vested interest. The priests and the politicians have been in a deep conspiracy. They have been working together. The moment the child start becoming part of your society, he start losing something immensely valuable. He start losing contact with God. He become more and more hung up in the heads. He forgets all about the heart, and the heart is a bridge that leads to being. Without the heart, you cannot reach your own being. It is impossible from the head. There is no way directly to being. You have to go by the heart, and all the societies are destructive to the heart. They are against love, they are against feeling, they are condemned feeling as sentimentally. They condemn all lovers down the ages for the simple reason that love is not the head. It is no, it is of the heart. A man who is capable of love is sooner or later going to discover his being. And once a person discovers his being, he is free from all the structure, from all the patterns, he is free from all the bondages. He is a pure freedom. Every child is a born innocent. But every child is made knowledgeable by the society. Hence, school, colleges, universities exist. Their function is to destroy you, to corrupt you. देखिए, बहुत अनोखी बात कहते हैं। ये कहते हैं कि मैच्योरिटी जो है इनोसेंस की तरह है, और ये जो हमारी सोसाइटी है, जब एक बच्चा पैदा होता है तो ये सोसाइटी है, स्कूल्स हैं, यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं, ये सब डिस्ट्रॉय कर देती है एक बच्चे के इनोसेंस को, और उसके अंदर एक बहुत अलग सी चीजें भर देती है, जिसको इग्नोरेंस कहा जाता है। तो कहते हैं कि फ्रॉम द हेड देयर इज नो वे डायरेक्टली टू बीइंग, यू हैव टू गो बाय द हार्ट, एंड ऑल द सोसाइटीज आर डिस्ट्रक्टिव टू द हार्ट। बहुत बड़ी बात कहती। मैच्योरिटी क्या है? मैच्योरिटी मीन्स गेनिंग योर लॉस्ट इनोसेंस अगेन। जो एक बच्चा जब पैदा होता है तो उसके अंदर एक अलग सी इनोसेंस रहती है, एक अलग सा ही जीवन उसके अंदर रहता है। वो इनोसेंस जैसे जैसे हम बड़े होते जाते हैं वो खोता जाता है, वो पूरी तरीके से समाप्त हो जाता है। तो मैच्योरिटी क्या है? मैच्योरिटी बहुत ज्यादा समझदार बनने में मैच्योरिटी नहीं कहते हैं। मैच्योरिटी अपने इनोसेंस को वापस लाना इन द फॉर्म ऑफ नॉलेजेबल के साथ अपने इनोसेंस को वापस लाना ही मैच्योरिटी है। तो मैच्योरिटी मींस गेनिंग योर लॉस्ट इनोसेंस अगेन, reclaiming your paradise, becoming a child again. Of course, it has a difference. The ordinary child is bound to be corrupted. जो एक बच्चा पैदा होता है वो बाउंड होता है कि वो भाई करप्ट होगा ही होगा, जो देखेगा आसपास वही सीखेगा, तो वो करप्ट होगा एक तरीके से, उसकी इनोसेंस को खत्म कर दिया जाएगा। बट व्हेन यू रिक्लेम योर चाइल्डहुड, यू बिकम इन इनकरप्टेबल। और अगर आप अपनी इनोसेंस को रिक्लेम करते हो, फिर से जगाते हो, फिर आपको कोई करप्ट नहीं कर सकता है। बहुत शानदार चीज है। तो नो बडी कैन करप्ट यू, यू बिकम इंटेलिजेंट इनफ नाउ। नाउ यू नो what the society has done to you, and you are alert and aware. You will not allow to it happen again. Maturity is a rebirth. ध्यान दीजिए, मेच्योरिटी क्या है? मेच्योरिटी इज अ रीबर्थ, फिर से पुनः जन्म हो रहा है। अगर आप मेच्योर हो रहे हैं, दैट मीन्स यू आर रीबर्थिंग, फिर से हो रहा। सो मेच्योरिटी इज अ रीबर्थ, अ स्पिरिचुअल बर्थ। यू आर बोर्न अन्यू, you are a child again. With a fresh eyes, you start looking your existence. With a love in the heart, you approach the life. With a silence and innocence, you penetrate your own innermost core. You are no longer just the head. No, you use your head, but it is your servant. You make your head, your brain as your servant. First, you become the heart, and then you transcend even the heart. So first of all, you have to become your heart and rule your head, rule your brain. Going beyond thought and the feeling and becoming a pure incense is a maturity. Maturity is what? Maturity is ultimate flowering of meditation. Jesus says, unless you are born again, you will not enter into the kingdom of God. He's right. You have to be born again. Once Jesus was standing in the marketplace and somebody asked, देखो जीसस से किसी ने पूछा जब वो मार्केट में खड़े थे, हु इज वर्थी ऑफ एंटरिंग इनटू योर किंगडम ऑफ गॉड? ये भगवान के जो किंगडम है, भगवान की जो जगह है, इसमें कौन है वर्थी इंटर करने के लिए? ही लुक्ड अराउंड एंड देयर वाज रैबिट. द रैबिट मस्ट बी मूव फॉरवर्ड अ लिटिल, थिंकिंग दैट he would be chosen, but he was not chosen. There was most virtuous man of the town, the moralist, the Puritains. He moved forward a little, hoping that he would be chosen, but he was not chosen. Jesus looked around. He saw a small child who was not expecting to be chosen, who had not moved, not even inch. There was no idea, there was no question that he would be chosen. He was just enjoying the whole scene, the crowd and the Jesus and the people talking. And he was listening. Jesus called the child. He took the child up in his arms and said to the crowd, those who are like this small child, they are the only ones worthy of entering into the kingdom of God. तो भगवान के पास जो एंटर करते हैं, उनके किंगडम में एंटर करने के लिए उस बच्चे की तरह आपको बनना होगा। तो बहुत सारे आप बहुत ज्यादा बुद्धिमान हैं, आपके पास बहुत ज्यादा दिमाग है, बहुत ज्यादा इंटेलिजेंट है, बहुत ज्यादा टैलेंट है, इट डजंट मैटर एट ऑल। द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट इज इनोसेंस, दैट मीन्स प्योर बाय हार्ट। हार्ट से स्टार्ट होता है, रूल योर ब्रेन, मैंने पहले ही बोला। तो जीसस ने बोला कि एक बच्चे की तरह अगर आप इनोसेंस हैं तो आपको एंट्री मिलेगी। But remember, he said, those who are like this small child, he didn't say. और जो उस तरह है वो बोलेगा नहीं कि मैं उस तरह हूं। अगर वो कह रहा है कि मैं इस तरह उस बच्चे की तरह हूं, मतलब वो नहीं है। Those who are small children, there is a great difference between these two. He did not say this child will enter into the kingdom of God, because every child is bound to be corrupted. He has to go astray. Every Adam and every Eve is bound to expel from the Garden of Eden. They have to go astray. That is the only way to regain real childhood. First, you have to lose it. It is a very strange, but that's how life is. It is very paradoxical, but life is a paradox. To know the real beauty of your childhood, first you have to lose it, otherwise you will never know it. तो चाइल्डहुड की ब्यूटी, एक जो बच्चा होता है उसका जो इनोसेंस होता है, उसकी ब्यूटी को अगर आपको समझना है तो पहले आपको चाइल्डहुड को खत्म करना पड़ेगा, उसे खोना पड़ेगा, फिर आप उसको रिक्लेम करते हो, रिबर्थ होता है, देन ओनली यू गॉट टू नो कि अरे भाई ये चीज मुझे मिली है, ये चीज जो थी जो मुझसे खो गई थी, अब आप रिक्लेम करोगे तो फिर उसकी बात कुछ अलग ही होगी. द फिश नेवर न्यू where the ocean is. You know, fish never knows the ocean where the ocean is unless you pull the fish out the ocean and throw it on the sand in the burning sun. जब आप एक मछली को पता नहीं होता कि भाई समुद्र कहाँ है, क्योंकि वहीं पैदा होती है, उसको लगता है यही सब कुछ है, यही दुनिया है, इसको पता ही नहीं दिस इज समुद्र, दिस इज ओशन, दिस इज वाटर. जब आप उससे बाहर निकालते हो और रेत में डालते हो तो भाई उसे तिलमिलाती हुई समझ में आता है कि यार ये रेत है, वो समुद्र है, मुझे समुद्र में जाना है, समुद्र अलग है, रेत अलग है, ये सब अलग अलग है. तब वो दौड़ती है उस तरफ. Then she knows where the ocean is. Now she longs for ocean. She learns for the ocean. She makes every effort to go back to the ocean. She jumps into the ocean. It is the same fish and yet not the same fish. It is the same ocean, yet not the same ocean, because the fish has learned a new lesson. Now she is aware. Now she knows this is the ocean and this is my life. Without it, I am no more. I am a part of it. Every child has to lose his innocence and regain it. Losing is the only half of the process. If you are lose your innocence, it is only half of the process. Reclaiming is a full process. Okay, many have lost it, but very few have regained it. That is unfortunate, very unfortunate. Everybody lose it, but only once in a while does a Buddha, a Zarathustra, a Krishna, Jesus regain it. Jesus is nobody else but Adam coming back home. Magdalene is nobody else but Eve coming back home. They have come out of the sea and they have seen the misery and they have seen the stupidity. They have seen that it is not blissful to be out of the ocean. The moment you become aware that to be a part of any society, any religion, any culture is to remain miserable, is to remain prisoner, that very day you start dropping your chains, maturity is coming, you are gaining your innocence again. एक जो बच्चा होता है उसके अंदर वो इनोसेंस होती है, वो किसी रिलीजन को नहीं मानता, वो किसी सोसाइटी को नहीं मानता, वो किसी फाउंडेशन को नहीं मानता, उसके लिए सब कुछ इक्वल है, एवरीथिंग इज इक्वल टू द चाइल्ड. तो वही इनोसेंस को हमको नॉलेज के साथ रिक्लेम करना है. दैट इज व्हाट वी कॉल द मैच्योरिटी. मैच्योरिटी और एजिंग ये हमारा नेक्स्ट पार्ट है इस पर्टिकुलर चैप्टर का. हम देखते हैं कि टाइम के साथ हम एज बढ़ता जाता है पर मैच्योरिटी नहीं बढ़ती. एज का बढ़ना, उम्र का बढ़ना और मैच्योरिटी का बढ़ना दोनों अलग चीजें होती हैं, उसको हम समझेंगे. देयर इज अ ग्रेट डिफरेंस बिटवीन मैच्योरिटी एंड एजिंग, a vast difference, and the people always remain confused about it. People think that to age is to become mature, but aging belongs to the body. Aging belongs to the body. मैं बड़ा हो रहा हूं, मेरी बॉडी बड़ी हो रही, मेरी बॉडी की मेरे रिंकल्स आ रहे हैं, ये एजिंग है, मेरी बॉडी एज ले रही. Everybody is aging, everybody will become old, but not necessarily mature. जरूरी नहीं कोई 60 years का भी हो के immature हो सकता है. Maturity is an inner growth. और maturity क्या है? Maturity is an inner growth. Aging is nothing that you do. Aging is something that happens physically. Every child born when time passes become old. Maturity is something that you bring to your life. It comes out of awareness. When a person ages with full awareness, he becomes mature. Aging plus awareness, experiencing plus awareness is maturity. Okay? You are experience things in two ways. You can simply experience it as if you are hypnotized, unaware, not attentive to what is happening. The things happened, but you were not there. It didn't happen in your presence. You were absent. just like present body, absent mind. सुना होगा आपने. You just passed it. It never struck any note in you. I never left any mark on you. You never learned anything from it. It may have become part of your memory because, in a way, you were present, but it never become your wisdom. You never grew through it. Then you are aging. पता ही नहीं कि क्या चल रहा है जीवन में, बस जीवन कट रहा है, तो वो एजिंग ही है. आप एक्सपीरियंस ही नहीं कर पा रहे, आप उसे ध्यान ही नहीं दे रहे. बट इफ यू आर ब्रिंग द क्वालिटी ऑफ अवेयरनेस टू द एक्सपीरियंस, द सेम एक्सपीरियंस बिकम द मैच्योरिटी. जो भी आपके साथ एक्सपीरियंस हो रहा है, अगर आप उसके अंदर क्वालिटी लेके आते हो, उसके साथ अवेयरनेस लेके आते हो, दैट मीन्स यू आर इनफ मैच्योर. देयर आर टू वेज टू लीव. वन, टू लीव इन अ डीप स्लीप. बिल्कुल आंख बंद करके सो रहे हो, जीवन कट रहा है भैया, पता ही नहीं. Then you are aged. Every moment you become old. Every moment you go on dying. That's all. Your whole life consists of a long, slow death. इसका मतलब ये है कि आपकी जीवन जो है स्लो डेथ है. आप हर दिन मर रहे हो. आप इस बात को समझो. आप एज बढ़ना मतलब मरना ही होता है. आपका जो हर एक क्षण है, एक पल है, वो खत्म हो रहा है. वो खत्म हो रहा है. दैट मीन्स यू आर डाइंग. आप मृत्यु के करीब पहुंचते जा रहे हैं. अगर आप अवेयर नहीं हो, अगर आप कॉन्शियस नहीं हो. बट इफ यू आर ब्रिंग अवेयरनेस टू योर एक्सपीरियंस, अगर आप अवेयरनेस लेके आते हो अपने एक्सपीरियंस को लेके, व्हाटसोएवर यू डू, आप जो भी करते हो, व्हाटसोएवर हैपन टू यू, यू आर अलर्ट, वॉचफुल, मिटफुल, mindful. You are savior the experience from all the corners. You are trying to understand the meaning of it. You are trying to pin it in the very depth of it. What has happened to you? You are trying to live it intensely and totally. Then it is not just the surface phenomena. Deep down within you, something is changing within you. You are becoming more alert. If this is a mistake, this experience you will never commit it again. अगर कुछ ऐसा हो रहा है तो आप फिर उसको नेक्स्ट टाइम नहीं करोगे ना, कोई भी गलती होती तो. A mature person never commit the same mistake again, but a person who is just old goes on committing the same mistake again and again. He lives in a circle. He never learn anything. You will be angry today. You were angry yesterday and day before yesterday, and tomorrow you are going to be angry, and the day after tomorrow also. Again and again you get angry. Again and again you repeat. Again and again you make a deep decision that you are not going to do it again, but the decision makes no changes. Whenever you are disturbed, the rage takes over. You are possessed. The same mistake is committed. That means you are aging. Okay, if you leave an experience of anger totally, never again you will be angry. Once experience will be enough to teach that it is foolish, that it is absurd, that it is simply stupid. Not that it is sin. It is simply stupid. You are harming yourself and harming other for nothing. The thing is not worth it. Then you are getting mature. Tomorrow the situation will be repeated, but anger will not be repeated. वो सेम सिचुएशन फिर से आपके सामने आएगी, पर आपको गुस्सा नहीं आएगा. ये होती है मैच्योरिटी. And a man who is gaining the maturity has decided that he will not be angry again. No, that is a sign of a man who is not getting mature. Who is not getting mature. A man of maturity never decides for the future. The maturity itself take care. You live today. That very living will decides how the tomorrow is going to be. It will come out of it. हम फ्यूचर के लिए सोचते हैं, बट फ्यूचर के लिए नहीं सोचना चाहिए. बिकॉज लीव द टुडे, फ्यूचर विल डेफिनेटली कम टू यू. वो रुकेगा नहीं, वो आएगा ही. फ्यूचर कोई नहीं रोक सकता उसको. आप आज तो जियो. If the anger was painful, poisonous, you suffered hell through it. Was is the point of deciding or taking a vow and going to the temple and declaring now? No, I take a vow. मैं एक शपथ लेता हूँ, वादा करता हूँ, that I will never be angry again. All this is childish. There is no point. If you have know that anger is a poison, it is finished. That way is closed. The door is no longer just for you. The situation will be repeated tomorrow, but you will not possessed by the situation. You have learned something. That understanding will be there. You even laugh. You may even enjoy the whole thing of how people get so foolish. Your understanding is growing through every experiences. You can live a life as if you are in hypnosis. That's how 99% people live. And you can live with intensity, with awareness. If you live with awareness, you mature. Otherwise, you simply become old. And to become old is not to become wise. If you have been a fool when you were young and now you have become old, you will be just an old fool. That's all. Just becoming old, you cannot become wise. You may be even more foolish because you may have clung to mechanical habit, robot like habits. Okay, life can be lived in two ways. If you live unconsciously, you simply die. If you live consciously, you will attain more and more life. Death will come, definitely it will come, but it never come to the mature man. हाँ, अभी सुन के ही बहुत अजीब सा लगेगा यार, मैच्योर मैन कभी मरता नहीं है क्या? ऐसा नहीं. It comes only to the man who have been aging and getting old. A mature person never die because he will learn even through death. उसको पता है डेथ है, वो नहीं है. एक शरीर है, जैसे ये कपड़ा है, इसे छोड़ना है, वैसे ही शरीर है, इसे छोड़ना है. He enough mature to know this. Even death is going to be experienced, to be intensely lived and watched aloud. उसको भी एक एक्सपीरियंस की तरह लेगा कि भाई मैंने जिंदगी जी ली, पूरी जिंदगी हो चुकी है, इसको फिनिश करते हैं, नेक्स्ट लाइफ में जाते हैं. A mature man never dies. In fact, the rock of maturity that struggle and shatter itself, commits suicide, death dies, but never a mature man. That is the message of all the awakened one, that you are deathless. They have know it. They have lived their death. सोचो, मृत्यु को भी जीना, क्या जीना होता है. They have watched and they have found that it can surround it you, but you remain aloof. You remain far away. Death happens near you, but it never happens to you. Deathless is your being. Deathless is your being. Blissful is your being, divine is your being, but those experiences you cannot cram into the mind and the memory. You have to pass through the life and attain them. Much suffering is there, much pain is there, and because of the pain and suffering, people like to live stupidity. It has to be understood why so many people insist that they should live in hypnosis. Why Buddhas and a Christ go on telling people to awake, जागो. क्यों बोला भाई बुद्धा ने? लोग सो रहे हैं and nobody listen. किसी ने सुना ही नहीं उनकी बात. There must be some deep involvement in the hypnosis and must be some deep investment. And what is that investment? Do you know? The mechanic, the mechanism has to be understood. Otherwise, you will listen to me and you will never become aware. आप सुनते रह जाओ, आप अवेयर नहीं हो सकते हो अगर आप उस प्रोसेस को नहीं जानोगे, उस मैकेनिज्म को नहीं समझोगे. You will listen and you will make it a part of your knowledge. आपको लगेगा कि सिर्फ it's a part of your knowledge. Take it and live it. That's yes. This means is be aware, and it is good to be aware. And those who attain the awareness become mature. But you yourself will not attain to it. It will remain just knowledgeable. You may communicate your knowledge to others, but nobody is helped that way. Why? Have you ever asked this question? Why don't you attain the awareness? कभी आपने इस तरीके का क्वेश्चन पूछा खुद से कि यार मुझे अवेयरनेस की जागरूकता क्यों नहीं मिली, क्यों मैं इससे वंचित रह गया? If it leads to the infinite bliss, to the attainment of सचित सतचित्रनंद सत्यचित्तानंद, वो तो सचित्तानंद मतलब बिल्कुल सत्य की ओर पहुंच जाना, अटेनमेंट ऑफ द सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन, टू एब्सोल्यूट ट्रूथ, सच्चिदानंद जिसे बोलते सच्चिदानंद रूपाय, तो बस उसी की बात हो रही है. And then why not aware? Why do you insist of being sleepy? There is some investment, and this is the investment. If you become aware, there is a suffering. If you become aware, you become aware of pain, and the pain is so much that you would like to take a tranquilizer and be sleep. This sleepiness in life work as a protection against the pain. But this is the trouble. If you are asleep again plain, and asleep again pleasure also, think of it as if there is a two fault. On one is written pain, and on other there were written pleasure. You would like to close the fault of which pain is written, and you would like to open the fault on which pleasure is written. But this is a game. If you close the pain of pouch, the pleasure pouch immediately closes. Because behind both there is only one pouch, only which the awareness is written. Either both remain open or both remain closed, because both are two faces of same phenomena, same aspect. तो प्लेजर एंड पेन अलग नहीं हो सकते. Pleasure and pain are not the two things, they are the one thing. They are the two different faces of coin. एक कॉइन है, उसके दो फेस हुए, एक प्लेजर एक पेन. अगर आपके सामने में दो पाउच रख दूं या दो पर्ची रख दूं और आपसे बोलूं एक उठाओ, तो आप प्लेजर उठाओगे, पेन नहीं उठाओगे. ये गलत, वहीं पे काम खत्म हो. जैसे पेन प्लेजर उठाया, प्लेजर भी गया हाथ से. प्लेजर और पेन दोनों एक साथ ही आएंगे. इस बात को समझना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. एंड दिस इज द होल कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन ऑफ द माइंड. माइंड वांट्स to be more and more happy. Happiness is possible if you are aware, and then mind wants to be less in pain. But less and less in pain is possible only if you are unaware. Okay? Now you are in a dilemma. If you want no pain, immediately pleasure disappear from your life. अगर आपको लगता है कि भाई दुख दर्द नहीं मिलेगा और सिर्फ प्लेजर मिलेगा, तो वो भी प्लेजर आपके जीवन से तुरंत हट जाएगा. हैप्पीनेस डिसअपियर. इफ यू वांट हैप्पीनेस, you open the pouch, immediately there is a pain also flowing. If you are aware, you have to aware of both. Life is a pain and pleasure. Life is happiness and unhappiness. Life is a day and night. Life is life and death. You have to aware of both. So remember if you are afraid of pain, you will remain in hypnosis. You will age, become old and die. You missed an opportunity. You want to aware, then you have to aware of both pain and pleasure. They are not a separate phenomena. And a man who become aware becomes very happy, but also becomes capable of deep unhappiness, of which you are not capable. So make yourself of capable of unhappiness also, of pain also. Then only you will get the pleasure. It happens a Zen master dead, and his chief disciple, who was famous man on his own. एक कहानी है, अभी मैं आपको पढ़ के सुनाता हूँ. Even a more famous than the master. In fact, the master had become famous because of his disciples. Start crying sitting on a step of the temple. He started crying with the tears flowing down. Thousands of the people had gathered. They could not believe it because you never see an awakened man crying and weeping with the tears rolling down his face. They said, "We cannot believe it. What is happening? You are crying, and you yourself have been saying to us that the innermost being never dies, that the death does not exist. We have heard you say millions of times that death does not exist. So why are you crying? Your master is still alive in his being." The disciple opened his eyes and he said, "Don't disturb me. Let me cry and weep. I'm not crying for the master and his being. I'm crying for his body. His body was his body was also beautiful. Never again will the body exist." And then somebody tried to persuade him that this would create a bad name for him. So many people have gathered and they will think that you are not enlightened. The disciples said, "Let them think whatsoever they want to think. Since the day I become enlightened, I have become infinitely blissful. But I have also become infinitely sensitive to the pain and suffering. This seems to be as it should be. If you hit Buddha, Buddha will suffer more than you will if somebody hits you, because he has become infinitely sensitive. His sensitivity is very delicate. He's just like a lotus petals. Your stone will hit him very deeply. It will give him deep suffering. Of course, he will be aware of it. Of course, he will be aloof from it. Of course, he will be transcendental to it. He will be knowing that it is happening it and he will not be a part of it. He will be cloud-like phenomena surrounding it, but it is happening. You cannot be so sensitive to pain. You are so fast asleep. You move like a drunk cart. A drunk cart falls on the street, hits his head to the gutter. Nothing happened. If he were aware, there would have been pain. Buddha suffers infinitely and Buddha enjoy infinitely. Always remember, whenever you reach to high peak, a deep valley is being created simultaneously. If you want to reach to the heavens, your roots will have to go very hell. Because you are afraid of pain, you cannot become aware. And then you cannot learn anything. It is just as you as if you are so afraid of enemies that you have closed the doors of your house. Now even the friend cannot enter. Even a lover is left out. The lover goes on knocking on the door, but you are afraid maybe it is your enemy, so you are close. That's how I see you all, close, afraid of the enemy, and the friend cannot enter. You have turned the friend into the enemy. No, nobody can enter. You are so afraid. Open the door when the fresh air enters the house. There is every possibility of danger also entering. When the friend comes, the enemy comes also become day and the night together. Pain and pleasure enters together. Life and death enters together. Don't be afraid of pain, otherwise you will be live in anesthesia. The surgeon gives an anesthetic before he operates on you because there is going to much pain. You will not be able to tolerate it. Your consciousness has to be dimmed, darkened, and then he can cut your whole body and you will not suffer. Because of fear of pain, you have forced yourself to live in a dim consciousness, in a dim existence, almost not alive. This is the fear. You have to drop that fear. You have to face the pain. You have to move through the suffering. Only then the possibility opens for the friend to enter. And when you know both, you immediately become the third. When you know both the pain and pleasure, the duality, the day and night, suddenly you have become transcendental. Maturity is awareness. Aging is just wasting yourself. So are you wasting yourself or are you mature? The most fundamental things to be remember is that life is dialectric. It exists through duality. It is rhythm between opposites. You cannot be happy forever. Otherwise, happiness will lose all meaning. वो कहते हैं ना, श्री कृष्ण ने कहा था कि अति का सुख भी मिल गया ना पार्थ, तो उससे भी तुम ऊब जाओगे. तो अति का सुख भी हमें पचता नहीं है. तो सुख और दुख दोनों साथ में आते हैं. So you cannot be happy forever, otherwise happiness will lose all the meaning. You cannot be harmony forever, otherwise you will become unaware of harmony. Harmony has to be followed by the discord again and again, and the happiness has to be followed by unhappiness. Every pleasure has its own pain, every pain has its own pleasure. Unless you understand this duality of existence, one remains in unnecessary misery. Accept the total with all the agnosis and all the ascetic. Don't hanker for the impossible. Don't desire that there should be only scarcity and no agony. Scarcity cannot exist alone. If it need contrast, agony becomes the blackboard, and the scarcity become very clear and loud. Just as in the darkness of the light, the stars are so bright. The darker is the night, the brighter are the stars. In the day, they don't disappear. They simply become invisible. You cannot see them because there is no contrast. Think of life without death. It will be unendurable pain and unendurable existence. It will be impossible to live without death. Death defines life. अगर सोचो ऐसा हो कि आपकी लाइफ में डेथ ही नहीं हो रही तो क्या होगा? जस्ट थिंक दैट लाइफ बहुत पेनफुल बन जाएगी. तो डेथ इज नॉट अ डेथ. डेथ इज अ लाइफ. डेथ डिफाइंस योर लाइफ, gives it tightness of intensity, because life is fleeting. Each moment become precious. If life is eternal, then who cares? One who wait for tomorrow forever, then who will live now and here? Because tomorrow there is a death. It forces you to live now and here. You have to plug into the present moment. You have to go into the ultimate death, because who knows, the next moment may come or not come. भाई, मृत्यु ही तो जिंदगी जीने का मजा देती है. जो मौत है वही तो जिंदगी जीने का मजा देती है, क्योंकि आपको पता नहीं कि कब मृत्यु हो जाए, अगले क्षण क्या होगा आपको पता नहीं. इसलिए आप इस क्षण को जी लीजिए. ये क्षण है, ये जो पल है, ये जो समय है, इसको जी जी लीजिए, क्योंकि आपको पता नहीं कि अगले क्षण क्या होने वाला है. और यही चीज हमें पावर देती है जिंदगी जीने का. Seeing this rhythm, one is at his ease with both. When unhappiness comes, one welcomes it. When happiness comes, one welcomes it, knowing that they are the partners in the same game. This is something that has to be continuously remembered. If it becomes fundamental remembrance in you, your life will have a totally new flavor, a flavor of freedom, the flavor of uncleanliness, a flavor of non-attachment. Who whatsoever comes, you will remain still, silent, accepting. जो गीता में एक श्लोक है, उसके अंदर कहा गया है, श्री कृष्ण ने कहा है स्थित प्रज्ञ रहना। स्थित प्रज्ञ का मतलब है एक समान रहना, सुख आए या दुख दोनों में एक समान रहना। वही यहाँ पे बात हो रही कि दोनों ही एक दूसरे का पार्ट है, ये दोनों अलग नहीं हो सकते, इसलिए हमें एक साथ रहना ही पड़ेगा। अगर हम सिर्फ सुख की अभिलाषा करेंगे तो सुख कभी नहीं मिलेगा, हमें सिर्फ दुख मिलेगा। And the person who is capable of being still silent, accepting the pain, frustration, misery, transform the very quality of misery itself to him. Misery also become the treasure to him. Even a pain gives the sharpness to him. Even darkness has its own beauty, depth, infinity to him. Even a death is not the end, but only a beginning of something unknown. Okay? Next part है maturity of spirit. So I will complete this part also, and this is the last part of this chapter. The qualities of the mature person are very strange. First, he is not a person. Huh? He is not a person. He is no longer a self. He has presence, but he is not a person. Second, he is more like a child, simple and innocent. That's why I say the qualities of a mature person is very strange, because maturity gives sense, as if he has experienced, as if he is aged old physically. He may be old, but spiritually he is an innocent child. His maturity is not just experience gained through life, then he would not be like child. Then he would not be a presence. He would be an experienced person, knowledgeable but not mature. भाई अगर इनोसेंस नहीं है ना लाइफ में, तो एक्सपीरियंस पर्सन हो सकता है, नॉलेजेबल हो सकता है, बट वो मैच्योर नहीं हो सकता। याद रखिएगा। तो मैच्योर की एक नई परिभाषा आप सीख रहे होंगे मेरे साथ। मैच्योरिटी हैज नथिंग टू डू विथ योर लाइफ एक्सपीरियंसेस, इट हैज समथिंग टू डू विथ योर इनवर्ड जर्नी, योर एक्सपीरियंस विद द इनर। मैच्योरिटी वो नहीं है जो आप फिजिकली बाहर एक्सपीरियंस करते हो, मैच्योरिटी वो है जो आप अंदर से एक्सपीरियंस करते हो। आपने अंदर कितनी ग्रोथ करी है, वो मैच्योरिटी है। The more a man goes deeper into himself, the more mature he is. When he has reached the very center of his being, he is perfectly mature. But at the moment the person disappears, जैसे ही उस पॉइंट में पहुंचेगा, बिल्कुल डीप अपने सेंटर पे पहुंचेगा, आदमी डिसअपियर हो जाएगा। मैन विल डिसअपियर, द पर्सन विल डिसअपियर। ओनली प्रेजेंस रिमेन्स, उसका प्रेजेंस रहेगा। ऐसा लगेगा कि इंसान जा चुका है, अवेक हो चुका है ना, सिर्फ उसकी बॉडी है वो रिमेन्स है, उसका प्रेजेंस। द सेल्फ डिसअपियर, ओनली साइलेंस रिमेन्स, सिर्फ साइलेंस रह जाएगा, शांति, परम शांति रह जाएगी। नॉलेज डिसअपियर, ओनली इनोसेंस रिमेन। नॉलेज पूरी तरीके से खत्म हो जाएगा और इनोसेंस लगेगा। अब इस चीज में बुद्धिज्म को, बुद्ध भगवान को, भगवान कह सकते हैं हम, तो बुद्ध को इमेजिन कर सकते हो, बिल्कुल शांत हो गए थे, बहुत ज्ञान था लेकिन कुछ भी नहीं था। ऐसा लगता था, उनसे पूछा गया कि भाई क्या ज्ञान हासिल कर लिया तुमने इतने वर्षों तक तप कर कर यह कर, नहीं मतलब कुछ हासिल नहीं किया, सब कुछ खोया, ये ज्ञान, ये सब कुछ, ये सब खोया, इनको सबको छोड़ दिया। तो असल में हमें सब कुछ पकड़ना नहीं है, हमें सब कुछ खोना है, सब कुछ अपने से दूर करना है। तो इनोसेंस आएगा, जब इनोसेंस आएगा तभी अवेक होंगे आप। To me, maturity is another name of realization. You have to the fulfillment of your potential. It has to be actual. The seed that has on your long journey has to blossom. Maturity has fragrance. It gives a tremendous beauty to the individual. It gives intelligence, the sharpest possible intelligence. It makes him nothing but love. His action is love. His inaction is love. His life is love. His death is love. He is just a flower of love. Love, love, love everywhere. हर जगह आपको प्रेम दिखेगा क्यों? The West has definition of maturity that are very childish. जो जिसे हम जनरली विदेशी कहते हैं, वेस्ट साइड जो यूरोपियन साइड्स हैं, वहां पे उनकी जो मैच्योरिटी की डेफिनेशन है वो बहुत ही अलग है, ऐसा चाइल्डिश है। कैसी? द वेस्ट मीन्स बाय मैच्योरिटी दैट यू आर नो लॉन्गर इनोसेंट। अगर आप इनोसेंट नहीं है तो आप मैच्योर हैं। उनकी डेफिनेशन ये है, जबकि है रिवर्स, that you have repent through your life experience, you cannot be cheated easily, that you cannot be exploited, that you have within you something like a solid rock, protection, security, definition of very ordinary, very worldly. Yes, in the world you will find mature people of this type, but the way I see the maturity is totally different, diametrically opposite to the definition. The maturity I am talking about will not make you rock, will make you so vulnerable, so soft, so simple. तो जो मैच्योरिटी की बात हम कर रहे हैं वो आपको बहुत सिंपल बनाएगी, बहुत सॉफ्ट बनाएगी, बहुत वल्नरेबल बनाएगी, आपको बहुत टफ नहीं बनाएगी, रॉक आपको पत्थर नहीं बनाएगी। आपको इस बात को समझना। आई रिमेंबर अ थीफ entered the mystic hut. It was full moon night, and by mistake he had entered. Otherwise, what can you find a mystic's house? The thief was looking and was amazed that there was nothing, and then suddenly he saw a man who was coming with the candle in his hand. The man said, "What are you looking for in the dark? What did you not wake? Why did you not wake me up? I just sleeping near the front door, and I could have show you the whole house." And he looked so simple, so innocent, as if he could not conceive that anybody could be thief. तो ऐसा लग रहा था कि वो एक मोमबत्ती लेके आता है और ऐसा लग रहा था वो चोर से पूछता है, यार बेटा तुमने मुझे बताया क्यों नहीं कि तुम यहाँ आ रहे हो, और अंधेरे में तुम क्या कर रहे हो? तुम मुझे बता देते तो मैं तुम्हें घर दिखा देता। कितना इनोसेंस है उसके बातों में। उसको लग रहा है कि चोर तो कोई हो ही नहीं सकता, वो ऐसी चीज सोच ही नहीं रहा। सो इनफैक्ट द सेम such simplicity and innocence, the thief said, perhaps you do not know that I am thief. The mystic said, that doesn't matter, everybody has to be someone. हर कोई ना कोई तो होता ही है। देखो जवाब देखो, हर कोई ना कोई तो होता ही है, इससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि तुम कौन। द पॉइंट इज दैट आई हैव बीन इन द हाउस, मैं था यहाँ पे पिछले 30 सालों से, एंड आई हैव नॉट फाउंड एनीथिंग, मुझे आज तक यहाँ कुछ नहीं मिला। सो लेट अस सर्च टुगेदर, चलो एक साथ ढूंढते हैं, एंड इफ वी कैन फाइंड समथिंग वी कैन बी पार्टनर। आई हैव नॉट फाउंड एनीथिंग इन दिस हाउस, इट इज जस्ट एम्प्टी। The thief was little afraid. The man seems to be strange. Either he is mad, or who knows what kind of man he is. He wanted to escape, and besides, he had brought things from the two other houses that he had left outside the houses. The mystic had only one blanket. That was all that he had. And it was a cold night. So he told that thief, "Don't leave in the way. Don't insult me this way. Otherwise, I will never be able to forgive myself that a poor man came to my house in the middle of the night and had to go empty-handed. Just take this blanket, and it will be good outside. It is so cold. I am inside the house. It is warmer here." He covered the thief with a blanket. The thief was just losing his mind. He said, "What are you doing? What are you doing? I am a thief. मैं चोर हूँ." The mystic said, "That doesn't matter. In this world, everybody has to be somebody, has to do something. You may be stealing. That doesn't matter. A profession is a profession. Just do it well. With all my blessing, do it perfectly. Don't be caught. Otherwise, you will be in trouble." The thief said, You are strange. You are nagged and you don't have anything. The mystic said, don't be worried because I am coming with you. Only the blanket was keeping me in this house. Otherwise, in this house, there is nothing. And the blanket I had given to you, I am coming with you. We will live together. And you seem to have many things. It is good partnership. I have given my all to you. You can give me a little bit. That will be right. The thief could not believe it. He just wanted to escape from the police and from that man. He said, no, I cannot take you with me. I have my wife, I have my children, and my neighbors. What will they say if I bring a naked man to my house? The mystic said, that's right. I will not put you in any embarrassing situation. So you can go. I will remain in the house. And as the thief was going, the mystic shouted, hey, come back. The thief had never heard such a strong voice. It went just like a knife. He had to come back. The such a strong voice. It went just like a knife. He had to come back. The mystic said, learn some ways of courtesy. I have given you the blanket and you have not even thanked me. So first thank me. It will help you a long way. Second, going out, you open the door. When you came in, close the door. Can't you see that night is so cold? And can't you see that I have given you the blanket and I am naked? And your being a thief is okay, but as far as manners are concerned, I am difficult man. I cannot tolerate this kind of behavior. Say thank you. The thief had to say thank you, sir, and he closed the door and escaped. He could not believe that what had happened. He could not sleep the whole night. Again and again he remembered. He had never heard such a strong voice, such power, and the man had nothing. He inquired the next day and he found out that this man was a great master. He had not done well. It was absolutely ugly to go to that poor man. He had nothing, but he was a great master. The thief said that I can understand myself. He is very strange kind of man. In my whole life, I have been coming in a contact with the different kinds of people, from the poorest to the richest, but never ever remembering him. A shivering goes through my body. When he called me back, I could not run away. I was absolutely free. I could have taken the things and run away, but I could not. There was something in his voice that pulled me back. After a few months, the thief was caught, and in the court of magistrate asked him, can you name the person who knows you in the vicinity? Yes, he said. Yes, one person knows me, and he named the masters. The magistrate said, that's enough. Call the master. His testimony is worth that of 10,000 other people. What he says about you will be enough to give judgment. The magistrate asked the master, do you know this man? He said, know him? We are partners. He is my friend. He even visited me one night in the middle of the night. It was so cold that I give him my blanket. He is using it. You can see the blanket is famous all over the country. Everybody knew it is mine. The magistrate said, he is your friend? And does he steal? The master said, never. He can never steal. He is such a gentleman that when I gave him a blanket, he said to me, I gave him the blanket. He said to me, "Thank you, sir." When he went out the house, he silently closed the door. He's very polite, nice fellow. The magistrate said, "If you say so, then all the testimonies of the witness who have said that he is a thief are cancelled. He is freed." The mystic went out and the thief followed him. The mystic said, "What are you doing? Why are you coming with me?" He said, "Now I can never leave you. You have called me your friend. You have called me your partner. Nobody has any respect, ever given me any respect. You are the first person who has said that I am a gentleman, I am a nice person. I am going to sit at your feet and learn how to be like you. From where have you got this maturity, this power, this strength, this seeing of things in the totally different way?" The mystic said, "Do you know that night how bad I felt? You had gone. It was so cold without a blanket that sleep was not possible. I was just sitting by the window watching the full moon and I wrote a poem. If I were rich enough, I would have given this perfect moon to the poor fellow who had come in the dark to search for something in a poor man's house. I would have given the moon if I had been rich enough, but I am poor myself. I will show you the poem. Come with me." I wept that night that thieves would learn a few things. At least they should inform a date or two ahead when they come to the man like me so we can arrange something. So they don't have to go empty handed. And it is good that you remembered me in the court. Otherwise, those fellows are dangerous. They might have mistreated you. I offered that very night to come with you and be a partner with you, but you refused. Now you want to come with me. There is no problem. You can come. Whatever I have, I will share with you. But it is not material, it is something invisible. The thief said, "That's I can feel. It is something invisible. But you have saved my life, and now my life is yours. Make whatever you want to make of it. I have been simply wasting it. Seeing you, looking in your eyes, one thing is certain that you can transform me. I have fallen in love from that very night. Maturity to me is a spiritual phenomenon. Maturity of spirit or is touching your inner sky. Once you settle down in your inner sky, you have found a home, and a great maturity arises in your action, in your behavior. Then whatever you do has a grace in it. Then whatever you do is a poem in itself. You live in poetry. Your walking becomes dancing. Your silence becomes music. But maturity is mean that you have come home. You are no longer a child who has to grow. You have grown up. You have touched the height of your potential. First of For the first time, a strength sense you are not, and you are not in your old ideas, imagination, in your old comprehension of yourself. All that has gone down the drain. Now something new arises in you, absolutely new and virgin, which transform your whole life into joy. You have become a stranger to the miserable world. You don't create misery. You for yourself, for anybody else. You live your life in total freedom without any consideration of what others will say. By maturity is mean that you have come home. You are no longer child who has to grow. You have grown up. You have touched the height of your potential. The people who are always considering others and their opinions are immature. They are dependent on the opinions of others. They can't do anything authentically. Honestly, they can't say what they want to say, what other wants to hear. Say what other wants to hear. Uh, your politicians say the things you want to hear. They give you the promise you want. They know perfectly well that they cannot fulfill these promises. Neither is there any intent to fulfill them. But if they say exactly truthfully what the situation is and make it clear to you that many of the things you were asking for the impossible, that they cannot be done, they will thrown out of power. You will not choose a politician who is innocent. Yes, it is a true. It is a very strange word. It is almost insane asylum. In this insane asylum, you become alert and you are blessed. The people who are always considering others and their opinion are immature. Remember this point. The people who are always considering others and their opinions are always immature. They can't do authentically honesty. They can't say what they want to say. They say what other want to hear. और इसी के साथ चैप्टर नंबर 2 ऑफ दिस बुक ओशो मैच्योरिटी द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ बीइंग वन सेल्फ का समाप्त होता है. In the next chapter, in the very next chapter, we are going to study the 7 year cycle of life. The very interesting chapter. Don't miss it out. Thank you.